Hi everybody, this is the fifth and final attempt to go live. We've not managed to do it, so we're going to record it and post it later. So any questions, comments, please put them below, and myself or Jane will come and talk to you. So obviously this is my introducing series. This is the lovely Jane, something that I can't pronounce because it's French. Jane married a Mauritian person. I got married in Mauritius, not to a Mauritian person. So we're like we've been bonding behind the scenes over Mauritius and lots of other things as well. So we're a bit giddy, that's all I'm going to say. And it's the 20th of December and we've just agreed that it's now really officially Christmas. We've decided.
Yeah. As soon as you hit the 20-something of December, that's it. Game over, right?
So we're in. So now it's Christmas. So happy Christmas, everybody. Hope you're all getting ready for a nice break. I've got a party tonight. My ninth and final Christmas do, which is cool. So, Jane, you introduce yourself with your lovely surname and tell all the lovely viewers what it is that you do.
Sure. So my name is Jane Ferre, and I'm an executive coach working with leaders in transition. So by transition, it can mean things like redundancy, so exploring all your options so you can decide on your next move. You could have had a promotion, so it's about establishing yourself in a new role. Or you just are kind of stuck in a rut and you just want to move out, on, up, sideways, whatever that may mean to you.
Cool. So this is people who are in employment.
Yeah, I work a lot with people who've been made redundant because I've got quite a lot of experience with that. So.
Yeah, so tell us about your experience with that. Tell us about your story. Give us your...
I know you love a backstory. So let me just start with the slow music,
yes.
sad music. So I was in corporate life for a long time. So I worked at British Airways for almost 20 years, actually.
Big chunk.
It's a big chunk. And I mean, the great thing about being somewhere like that is you can have lots of different jobs in 20 years and you work in lots of different places. So I was hoping to reassure Sophie this morning about her husband landing into Gatwick, because I was head of HR at Gatwick for a while. I've been in engineering, I've been in cargo, I was looking after leadership development, and my last job there was head of talent. So I used to do a lot of recruiting of senior people into the business, and then succession planning and thinking about what's the talent we need for 3, 5, 10 years time, etc., etc. And my role became redundant, and I left. I decided that I've been there 20 years. I'm kind of still at an age where I can leave and do something else, because I know it's going to happen and happen and happen again, because that's just the nature of the business.
Yeah.
So I thought either I can stay here another 5 years and then I'll be 50 something, or I can just get out now and take that leap of faith now, which I did. So March last year, I left after a long period. And then I got another job I've done a lot of training in my background as well. So I joined Leon Restaurants. So there's a couple in Manchester, in Birmingham, mostly around London. And I stayed there for 8 months before I got an email saying, please come in tomorrow and talk about your future employment. Now, having a lot of years in HR, you know that means there is no future employment. So I got that role, was made redundant as well. So 2017 was a bit of a year of change. So I experienced redundancy twice. One was kind of a bit of a long, drawn out, big corporate process, and one was a very quick, go home, write your handover, and then come in, bring all your stuff in, and that's it. That's your last day. So two very, very different experiences of redundancy. So so I left. It's about a year ago, actually. So it was kind of Christmas time. I'm just sitting on the sofa going, sod this for a lark. I'm going to binge watch Netflix and eat chocolate buttons. And then kind of decide what I'm going to do. And I just have, after a long period of exploration, which I decided was my word for 2018.
Nice.
Is kind of take another leap of faith and go, right, I'm going to do this thing and set up my own coaching practice. So, yeah.
How's that been going so far?
You know what I say to people is it's the hardest thing I've ever done. It really is the hardest thing I've ever done. But at the same time, it's the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
But it is really, really hard. I think when you're in this corporate bubble, it kind of doesn't matter whether it's a bit like now, right? You'd be going in playing board games, just faffing around, having coffee with people, doing nothing. And this chunk of money lands in your bank account at the end of every month.
Yeah.
Whereas it's not the same here. So you can work really hard or you can do nothing. This chunk of money lands in your bank account. And then every year you get a bonus, and then,
The wheels keep turning, you just keep turning up. Yeah.
Turning up, do nothing, do a lot, whatever. Whereas it's very, very different here. And it's kind of almost you take your destiny into your own hands.
You do.
Somewhat, which is
very different, I guess. I suppose that's the big thing for you, isn't it? That transition from someone and having that huge corporate machine around you as well. It's not like, I had a job in a local business. It's like that huge
had people,
glamorous, really. You had people to do this. I think that's a big thing with marketing. People are like, actually, my own marketing, like we had a team of people who did the marketing. Like, I don't really understand what you mean by marketing. We just hired a big agency that came in and wooed us and took us for dinner, and that's
let's go to Nobu and talk about it. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. This time of year, you'd be like walking into your office, you have this many gifts of like bottles of champagne and like chocolates and all lovely stuff like that, hampers.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen here, does it?
No, it's it's not at all. It's not, so it's very, very different, but yeah, no, but I'm loving it. It's like a real challenge, and I'm learning so much. And it is that kind of, not only do I have to be marketing, but I have to be finance, and I have to be IT, and I have to be all of that other stuff. And it's like, it's really fucking scary sometimes as well. Yeah. But actually, I'll never forget the sending my first invoice. That was so like, right, finally, right, I'm a business now, because someone said to me, well, if you're not making sales, you're not a business. And it's like, right, I've made a sale.
I always say that when I see those posts on Facebook of like, what's the most important thing you need to know, or need to have when you start up in business? And I was like, a logo, a website. And I'm like, clients, paying clients.
Yeah.
It's like people giving you money for your thing. Do that first and then worry about the rest of the stuff later.
Yeah.
I still remember my moment of that as well. So I set up, when I had the kids, I set up as a reflexologist, set my own business up, didn't even go and work for anyone else. And Ashley from Coronation Street came and opened it for me. He also came to my engagement party because he was a mate of my ex-husband's. And we opened it up, and then people booked in on that day. And the first woman I did, she had a treatment and she finished it. She said, oh my God, that was amazing. Thank you so much. She gave me 40 quid in cash. And I just remember that money, and I was just like, and she went, and I was like, just giving me some money for something. Like, I made that happen. I remember just saying, I made that happen. Like, nobody gave me that. Like, I had a succession of shitty jobs, really. Worked in councils, in sales, sales admin. I've never had anything where I was like valued. I was always been like an admin or whatever. And I remember thinking, not only did she give me the money, but she said thanks. I was like, this has never happened to me before.
Changed my life.
That moment, and then I was hooked. Then I was absolutely hooked from then on in. Yeah, an interesting moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it almost just validates you, going like, actually, okay, now I am like a proper kind of proper thing, and then they actually pay you for it, and you're just like, oh my God. And
they love it as well.
Yeah,
that's the other thing about this work, is I've never ever felt so good about myself. I never get so many lovely comments and support and encouragement every single day. And that's not just even from clients I work with, that's just people like from around. And to do that and make money, it's like, this is magical stuff.
But
it's hard.
The stuff that I do with people is really, life changing. I think is sometimes a bit more, is kind of really strong, but it does.
I think you should claim it.
It does change them. I'm working with, people who are, have just had babies and are looking to go back into the workplace, and it's that kind of re-establishing themselves, or redundancy can be a real
massive
knock. It's it's just shit. It doesn't matter kind of where you are, there is still that kind of impact on you and your self-esteem, and you're just thinking, it's crap. But the one thing I always say is to be a bit HR is, roles are redundant, not people.
Mm.
You know, so it's just the roles that disappear. It's like you don't lose all your skills overnight just because your business doesn't want that role anymore. So it is
it's very hard to not take it personally, isn't it? Especially if you're chosen rather than, you know, I don't know. I've never been made redundant. I've been sacked. I've been sacked a few times. Once for having too many ideas. That was my favourite. You're here to process the invoices, not to give us ideas for the website. Please leave. I was like, okay.
Okay. Well, they're lost, right?
Well, they're lost. Well, they're lost. They're a recruitment agency. I'm still connected with him and them on the LinkedIn, so they get to see where I'm at now, which is lovely.
And you get to do the kind of like.
Well, very wise man told me revenge is the best revenge is success. So it's one of the.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the wrong job for me. He was dead right. I've been sacked before for having a personality clash. Can't believe that. So that was.
Did they sack the other person as well, or was it just you?
Well, he was the best seller in the business and an arsehole. And I think I've got a really bad resting bitch face, so I think it was just clearly obvious I wasn't going to be very good at being his assistant.
Yeah.
Everyone liked shit, and I was just a bit like, what else been sacked for? Can't remember. Loads of things probably. So yeah, I'm pretty unemployable. So, but I can imagine being made redundant, especially from a job that you love and that you're good at, and that you've invested like years of your life into. It's kind of like.
Yeah, well, I think that for me, the interesting thing with VA is because it's this massive corporate machine, everything takes so long. So it took so long because you go through the whole kind of consultation process and all of that, and actually that's crueler in a way because you're kind of you're just like, come on, we know what the outcome's going to be here. Let's just cut.
And rip the plaster off. It's a bit like when you separated but you stayed together till after Christmas for the kids. It's kind of like just sort of going through the motions, and so it's, I imagine it's a bit like that. And I don't know, how did the people around you react, like your family and your co-workers, as we say now?
So yeah, my co-workers were interesting because there was a couple of people in the same position, but it's that kind of survivor's guilt a lot of the time. It's that thing of, oh shit, we've got a job and you haven't, or the other thing is, oh shit, why aren't I on the list? Because I could do.
I want to get out.
I want to get out, but I want them to pay me to go. I
think if you want to start your own business, being redundant is a massive blessing, because especially if you get a decent payout, because it's kind of like, there you go, there's your investment for your business.
Yeah. The interesting thing when I was at Leon was I was actually working at home, and I was getting my team together. So I'd kind of got the team that opens new restaurants, so they'd sort of come into me, and I've got some people had kind of moved on, and it was like the first day I was just preparing our agenda for our first kind of strategy day together to go, right, what we're going to do in 2018, la la la. And I went into my email to send the email to the team to go, this is what we're going to do on Monday, and that's when I saw that it was from my boss, and I was just like
jarring again. It's like,
it was just like, well, do I send this email or not? And who's going to tell the team? But actually, with Leo, because I'd had the experience at BA, I was just like, well, I know what happens here. I know what I need to do to kind of get myself out of it. But my team were kind of left without a leader, and they were kind of glad that they'd been neglected for a while. So it was almost like, well, I'm fine because I've got the skills to go off and do something else, but they're kind of left there with just this like, well, what do we do now kind of thing. So it can be sometimes worse for the people that are left.
And what about your family?
My husband is like one of the most relaxed people ever. So he's just like,
Mauritius, right? So
he's like, well, do what you want to do. And I'm like, well, this means that I was always the breadwinner. I earned a lot more than him. I said, what this means for us is that there's a complete like role reversal, and we're relying on your salary now, which was a lot less than mine. Are you okay with that? And he's just like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter.
So laid back. I love it, because you're obviously really driven and stuff. Does that ever clash? You ever like,
God, yeah.
He's like, fine. All the things that attracted to you in the first place. No, it's kind of irritating.
It's quite funny. And the ironic thing is he's always the one who's like anti-establishment and going, I'm going to work for myself. And I'm just like, well, here you are, leaving the house at 8 o'clock every day to go and get on the tube.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You don't miss all that stuff though. You don't miss the whole.
No, do you know what? When I went to Lyon, I had a 3-hour commute a day on the tube.
Worse. Well, I can't, but you know what I mean? It's horrible.
Whenever
I go anywhere at that time of day, I'm like, I forget that this is what people are, you know, this is what's going on around, like outside. I'm like, guys, like, come on. 3 hours a day is a big chunky day, isn't it?
Yeah, an hour and a half each way. And you don't realize until you step out of that the impact that has on your health, actually.
Yeah.
Just on your health, your lack of sleep, your kind of the stress levels about, you know, just
all the peopling.
The freaking people. I mean,
so many peopleness.
And I live near Heathrow, so I'm on the tube line that goes out to Heathrow. So all day the line is busy, and it's full of people that don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, panicking and having loads of suitcases.
Yeah.
And, like, half excited or half knackered coming back from holiday.
Yeah, and it's like, don't put your suitcase there, put it there. You know, it's just like, yeah, bless them. Or they're really stressed about where to get off, so you end up being like a tour guide, you know.
Yeah, you get nothing this way for you.
Yeah, no, you need to change, get off here and wait for the one for Terminal 1. Yeah.
I've done this before.
It's just that. Yeah. What airline are you with? That's Terminal 3. Yeah.
Yeah. You should put a right to London Underground and go, excuse me.
I've got one of those faces though, you know, that people kind of stop and ask things. I think it's,
you look like a grown up who knows what you're doing. Yeah.
I think because I travelled a lot as well, and when you kind of realise that what it's like to be somewhere completely foreign and everything's just a confusion.
It's very stressful. It is very stressful, and some people cope with things like that better than others. But yeah, there's a lot of humanity going on that tube, I'm sure, in that underground bit of metal.
Hell.
I don't know. I've never been on the tube. I never ever want to go on the tube. I've been to London, but hey, I'd rather spend 45 minutes going 1 mile than get on the tube. So
yeah, you do a lot of walking. I was doing 14,000 steps a day.
You
know,
and you have to walk so fast in London, otherwise you just get knocked over. I said to John Buchan, I said, it's like everywhere you go, it's like everyone's leaving a concert.
I walk so fast because when I'm with like friends are down here and they're just like, oh my god, they're like, keep up with me, and I'm like, come on.
I did little skips to catch up now and again. So, next time I got off the train, I was like, oh my god, something happening. I was like, oh. And then some of my mates, they were like, that's just how fast everyone walks. So just go. I'm like, oh. Right. Yeah. So now when I got off the train, I'm like going really fast because I'm like, I've been before, I know what I'm doing. But if you try and go slow, God. And I still, even now when I go to London, I still smile at people and make eye contact because I just enjoy it now for the game.
Yeah, it is funny. You can tell when I'm from the north, and it's quite funny because we were in Manchester on the tram the other week, and my sister was laughing at me because she's just like, look at you getting all northern, chatting with the the guy on the Metro link. Just like, no one does that.
Nobody does that in London. Honestly, I walked through this pub and I was just, because I'm dead happy anyway, so I was just like, oh, it's Christmas, and one of my first Christmas, and I was like smiling. This bloke stopped me and went, you've like made my day. Like, you smile, like you just smiled at me for no reason. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just on my way to the toilet. And he was like, this is incredible. This doesn't happen in London. Like, oh, I'm from Manchester. I don't know the rules down it.
Yeah, everyone's chit-chatting on the tram. It's a bit like...
I was talking to the woman in Accessorize in Euston Station, and she was like, no one ever talks to me. And I was chatting to her for ages. She gave me a free pair of earrings. I left my pen. I went the other way. She came running after me, and and I was just like, oh. So I was like, I tweeted Accessorize. I was like, oh, give that woman like a pay rise. She's lovely. But I bet all day she was like,
wow, you made today.
I just think
spreading the love.
Yeah, my friends come down here, so I live in a really small village, and so it's you just say hello to everybody. So you go, hiya, morning, all right, hiya, morning, blah blah blah, and they're going, do you know all these people? I was going, about 80%. Like, what about the people who don't know? So don't you have to say hello to everyone? They were like, and we sat outside the pub, and there's little cobbles outside the pub. Every car that drove past waved. You know, I was like, yeah, I know all those people. It's just weird. Everything's done by committee in my village. So like, it's just stupid stuff. Like my ex-boyfriend, I was going to put him on my insurance on my car, and like the whole of the pub was talking about it. Like, oh well, you should do this, you could do that, and you know, and you're just like, this is good. I didn't even ask for anyone's opinion. You know, it's like, what you having to say? Oh well, you do. You know, it's a very strange environment, but it's lovely. I love and hate it in equal measures.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
Likewise, Dan.
So anyway, we've gone off on a tangent.
Can we talk a bit about the mastermind? What should we...
Go on then, talk to me about the mastermind. So, knowing your backstory now, what made you decide to join the mastermind? How did you find out about me? I always think that's fascinating. And then what made you decide to join it?
So I watched I think you call them guest expert slots in the Soulful Business Network. So run by Sam Dunnage.
Oh, Samantha, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Samantha, yes, Samantha. So Samantha, Sam, coached, I was her first client, weirdly. So while she was training, she coached me through my redundancy at BA. So
okay, cool.
It was quite an interesting time. So it's just kind of me trying to figure out my approach.
Sorry about the turtles.
For maximum benefit. So I kind of worked with her, and I've worked with her since as well, actually. So I worked with her when I decided to set up on my own business. So I watched your thing because I thought it was interesting, because when I was at BA in my last job, I managed the contract of LinkedIn. So I know we talked about this. So it was something I'm a real advocate of anyway.
What does that mean, manage the contract for LinkedIn?
So you know, when you have all the company pages.
Yes.
So people have the company pages, which you can set up for free, but we were using it as a talent attraction tool. So it's that kind of strategic kind of resourcing, because when you think about what you need in somewhere like BA, you need engineers and you need pilots, and you can't just recruit engineers and pilots in a few weeks. They take a long time to train and develop, and you're fighting for them in the market along with all the Middle Eastern carriers now, which is the big kind of thing. And it's like, why would you come and work at BA where you can go and work at Emirates in the sunshine on a tax-free salary? So it's really about using LinkedIn page to so you know the little advert that comes up on I'm kind of pointing there, like, you know where I'm talking about.
I know what you mean.
It's usually on the right hand side. So we've told LinkedIn what types of people that we're looking for, and target those ads. So you pay for 1 million ads, whatever, impressions, because what you want to do, it's a bit like what you do. It's the same thing. They call it build, engage, and recruit. So you build your warm talent pool, you engage with them with interesting stories through the company page, and then when you're ready to go and push the button on graduate recruitment or pilot or engineering recruitment, they're already there and engaged and ready. So it's managing the stories that go out. So, you know, being a big corporate, we had a lot of kind of tension with the marketing team, because it all sat in marketing, and they were just,
you know, my background's in recruitment, don't you? Using Facebook, Facebook ads and Facebook groups. Funny, like, marketing, HR, me in the middle.
Well, it was funny because the types of stuff the marketing team would put out there is, you know, oh, we're now flying to Pittsburgh, and have you seen our new Club World products? And it's just like, that's great.
People that work for you are not the same people that buy from you. I used to say that all the time. We had Lakeland as a client. I'd be like, people that come and work in the warehouse in Kendal are not interested in spiralizers.
So it was trying to you prove it with numbers, right? So the first people-y post that we put out was a captain who'd nominated BA for a diversity award because she had transitioned from male to female. So that was like, if I'm going in like,
for it. Amazing.
For it. So we had Captain Cat doing a video about her transition from male to female and how BA had supported her through that transition.
Fantastic.
That scored the highest engagement of any post
ever.
BA ever. So there you go, point proven. So we were allowed every Thursday to have I know, every Thursday.
Why didn't you have a work for BA page?
Well, that's the careers page, what they call careers pages. So within that, now they've changed it. So you've got, so we had, depending on, we set up 4 pages. So depending on what was in your profile, you either got a pilot page, engineering page, analyst page, or a cabin crew or a general page. So so there's almost like these pages in the background, and depending on what's on your page, it pops up whatever.
Clever stuff. It's clever stuff.
Really, really clever. And what LinkedIn provided us with amazing data that we didn't have internally. So when we talk about people are leaving BA, and there'd be all this anecdotal data, and I go, well, that's anecdotal, that's fine. Here's what the LinkedIn data says. So actually, most people left you and went to TUI.
Yeah.
Most of your engineers left and went to EasyJet. Of you, and actually, this is where we recruited people from. So it's actually using all this data that you're paying for anyway. So and just kind of managing, you know, where we're pumping up adverts for people, what's the content going to be. So it's a really interesting thing. So I'm a real advocate for the system. So I was interested to see your approach, because I think, having been unemployed and been to, you know, lots of, you know, people that help you find jobs, and they all say, you know, you need to do this and you need to do that. I thought your approach was interesting about the no personalized invitations. It's different. I just thought it was really different. And I don't think that's wrong, sending personalized invites, if you're doing it for a different reason. But I think the thing is, now it's like a numbers game.
Yeah.
So this is the difference. I think it's that actually just putting as many people in your network, of the right people in your network, as possible.
Yeah.
And kind of using that. So I just think it was a really interesting thing, and I just really liked your approach. I just liked your directness. And I just thought, actually, this is interesting. So there's all this, I'm in this position where there's all this new stuff going on for me, where I'm like, oh shit, I've got to create a bank account, and oh shit, I've got to do this, or shit, I've got to do that. And having LinkedIn there was almost this thing that was like familiar throughout, where it's like, there's something that I don't know I can do.
Yeah. That routine is really important for people, isn't it?
Yeah.
That we talk about in the mastermind. So how did you find the training and the group, like the culture, if you like, in the group?
So the group, I think, are brilliant. So the training, first of all, I like the fact it was kind of drip fed every day. So having a training background, I kind of like the fact you just tell me what to do, because there's so much going on in my head where I'm just like, oh shit, I've got to figure out this and figure out that. And it's almost like I don't need to think about it. It's just like, right, Helen says today I've got to do this, right, just do that. And it's almost just building it up, which is brilliant. And then I think also the implementation weeks worked really well for me, because I was doing some work. So I've done some work with some consultancies outside, where I'd be in Dublin for a week, and it's almost like, actually, I haven't touched it, because I've been, 24/7 on that.
Yeah.
So having those implementation weeks was really useful to be able to catch up. And all I did was I just put the emails in a separate folder. If I was kind of working, I'd just kind of then come to I'd kind of just go back and kind of catch up. So those are really important implementation weeks that work really well.
Yeah, I've got those again this time.
And then the group is just brilliant as well. So I just feel that there's a real support within the group, and there's some people that I feel that I know quite well. And I know we've spoken about this as well, with the whole Facebook thing of being friends with people on Facebook, because I kind of come from that place where my Facebook is so locked down because of some of the work that I did when I was an HR business partner. Particularly, some of my colleagues were ending up on the cover of the national newspapers. So it's almost like I've kind of, that's instilled in me, which is like, you're not my friend, so don't ask me to be friend on Facebook. Whereas actually I've kind of gone, okay, I can relax that a little bit now.
Yeah, well, that's it. The rules are totally different, aren't they? And that's it's very empowering to think, actually, nobody can tell me what to do. I'm sure what I'm doing. It's like, of course, entrepreneurship's fun, because of that, like, you can just do what you want when you want. So the all new mastermind, I'm so excited for it. I've changed quite a bit of it. I've refilmed the whole lot. So my team are all like, because obviously we'll all have to have new emails, all new content, everything, but it's really fresh and really up to date. So I'm dead pleased with it. Last week's hilarious. Wait till you see it. I presume you're going to come do it again, are you, in January?
I am going to do it again because I think there's that. I've been in launch mode for something that I'm running, so it's almost like I need to go back. So I'm closing the doors to that on the 4th of January, and it's then I need to then product cycle, I think you call it, with my kind of almost kind of choosing which area am I going to focus on. And that was really helpful in the mastermind, because as a coach there's lots of stuff that I can do.
Of course, yeah.
And I think the fact that I focused on my focus for the mastermind was on first 90-day coaching, and actually that really resonated with a consultancy that I'm going to join, or I've just been accepted for. I think I was working on the presentation when we had a call last week, so they've invited me to join them, but it's that first 90-day thing that really resonated with them, that they weren't offering. So it was that being really clear about what I can
picking
offer.
one thing. Yeah, people struggle with it, and obviously we've got 100 plus coming in January, and you'll see, because you what I call old timer and the newbies.
I'm an old timer now.
I know, yeah. It's kind of like, you'll see it though with such different eyes, and you'll see people going through all the same trauma of, I don't want to just pick one thing, I want to be all things to all people. And you'll know now, like you'll hear me say to them, this is for you, not for me or for the course or for your customers, your clients. It's for you to just focus on your one thing, and then get that going, and then layer it on with something else. And that's why I think it's really powerful that the mastermind run 3 times a year, because you can just start at the beginning, right? Value, joy, profit, right? Ideal client for this, right? How am I going to position it? How am I going to price it? And then going to write my headline, profile, and you just keep rinsing it through. It's very, very simple, and it gets easier every time. You don't have to do every single thing, but because it's all new as well, you'll be like, oh, this is new. I didn't do this last time, or we didn't do this. You know, and the last week's just totally changed. So, there's going to be a lot more of lives and stuff from me. So because my team are now so good and so like in tune with everything that happens, because this is our 5th time, you know, this will be our 6th round, and I'm launching my membership as well this year. So my whole day is basically going to be going live. So lives in my marketing, lives in the mastermind group, lives in the mentoring group, the membership group. But the membership group's not about LinkedIn. This what would Helen do thing, and it's about giving people, empowering themselves to actually just do the things that they need to do, and not the other stuff, and really push people quite hard, because I've realised, having done some mentoring, I can't call myself a coach because I'm crap at asking questions. I'd rather just tell people what to do. What I've learned is that people they need to be pushed, and they want to be pushed, and when they're pushed they can make amazing things happen. But left to your own devices, if you've not got it in you to do it, like naturally, you can still achieve all those things as long as you've got someone pushing you. So.
It's interesting, because I have I've have a lot of coaches in my circle, and some of them are really, I think there's almost a continuum. So this is resonating with the consultancy as well. There's a continuum between the kind of everything is a question as a coach versus the mentoring bit, which is telling people what to do. And it's like,
I've definitely realised where I'm at.
I do ask a lot of questions, but sometimes people just don't know the answer, or if it's a kind of a technical, I get a lot of HR people come to me and they go, I need to write a people strategy. And it's like, you can ask all the questions in the world, but sometimes
or I just tell you what to do.
Yeah, it's what you need to do.
I think I attract people who want to be told what to do in the nicest possible way, because they're kind of like, I'm coming to you because I know that you're direct, and I know that you're going to not take any shit from me, and I know that I'm going to have to do the work. So as long as they tick those 3 boxes, they'll get on fine. And I've been amazed how hard I can push people before they break. Kimbo was incredible. I mean, she's on holiday now, but she moved a holiday to do a challenge.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
And so it's kind of like, but she's like, I had no idea I was able to work at this rate. Not forever, but in short bursts, you know. That's really what I preach.
It's weird actually as well, because I use the your summary formula for my website as well. So I was almost had that writer's block. So I was kind of looking at my website going like, oh, how do I position this? And then in the end, what I did was I just kind of almost went through your process.
You can use it everywhere. You know where that came from though, Jane? That came from writing job ads.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I used to go into consultancy. I'd go in and they'd say, we can't recruit the right people, and be like, we're obviously not trying hard, you know. And then I'd look at you can imagine how I went down in some of the big corporate companies, but I'd look at their job, I'd be like, show me a job ad. And I'd be like, It talks about you and how great your company is and how wonderful and how people should be falling over themselves to come and work for you. When actually, if you want to recruit the right people, you want to start talking about them and what's going on in their world and how your job's going to make their life better. So that's where that all came from. Ideal client avatars come from ideal candidate avatar.
Right.
So I used to go into companies and be like, who are you trying to recruit? And they'd be like, oh, well, we need somebody. And I'd be like, no, we're going to pick one dream person. So when they walk in, we know who they are. So we'd have to draw a safe space around, obviously, because we'd talk and all that. But we'd map them out. I'd draw them out on the whiteboard and we'd know everything about their lives. And then we'd know how we needed to position the job to get the right people. Because you sell into this, aren't you? Not to, and forget your big, long, bloody, unicorn stuff. We wanted to have all these things and all these things. It's like, no, you want the right person for the right job. You've got to show what your culture's like, so you attract the right people in the first place, and then you've got to woo them. Yeah. So you've got to win your best candidates. You've got to absolutely woo them. You've got to win them and woo them, and you've got to pull out all the stops, and everyone will be like, sounds like hard work. But they'd recruit the right people. Yeah.
It's weird because that's a lot of what I was doing in my last job with some of the really senior people. Yeah. It is just, wooing them.
They're in that bubble, you see. They're in that bubble of like, oh, we're great. And like, and a lot of the stuff I teach now comes from that. I used to say in the boardroom, I'd say, nobody gives a shit about you or your business or your brand. What they care about is themselves and what's going on in their world. If you can make their life better, they'll come and work for you. Yeah. And they'd all be like, but then we'd write job ads like that. Are you a XYZ? Do you feel XYZ? Would you like things to happen? Would you like these great outcomes? If so, we can help you. We've got this job. This is the job. This is what it's about. This is why you'd be perfect for it. This is how you apply. None of that fill out 3,000 forms. Yeah. They say to me, there's so many moving parts in it, so it used to drive me mad, but they say, we're getting loads of applications and they're all dropping off. I'd be like, give me the application form. And they give me something like that. I'd be like, well, what do you expect? Yeah. Especially something like when I was doing Lakeland and they were recruiting people into a minimum wage job in a warehouse in the middle of nowhere. Most people didn't even have English as a first language or a smartphone. It was like that, Leon. It was just mad. Like, what are you thinking? Why don't you just get them to send a message on Facebook and then you pick them up? And they're like, oh. Anyway, so I loved that work, but it was frustrating because I was probably 10 years ahead of my time. Yeah, I think so. And I think, somewhere like BA in particular, it would almost be like half the people in the recruitment team wouldn't know how to use Facebook. Yeah. and then there's that, but then there's that thing of a lot of people use Facebook and they've ended up, on the cover of a national newspaper. So there's all this real, around it. And I think it was actually locked down as well. I think you couldn't get it through the BA system. No, you probably couldn't. Yeah. But the middle-sized companies, I mean, Lakeland was one of our biggest successes, to be honest. I love that stuff. I know, the HR director was like, I'm not really sure about this, but we'll give it a go because they were really struggling. Yeah. And then the first day the ads went live, I remember the number, 69 people applied. And she was like, on the first day, she was like, oh, right, this makes sense. And I was like, amazing. Fully staffed that warehouse for that year. And then the next year they were like, we're just going to do it ourselves now. For okay, good luck. With a few months when it doesn't work out. So many moving parts though in employer branding. It's incredible, really. Yeah. But it amazes me how you would have been my dream. If we'd have met, I would have just been like, oh, this is great, ideal client. If you'd have messaged me on LinkedIn, can you come and talk? But it amazes me how recruitment's such a big problem, yet no one seems to be doing anything about it. It's massive, isn't it? We can't find, and graduate recruitment, I'm like, why aren't you using Facebook ads to recruit graduates? That's where they are all day. Yeah. No one goes to job boards anymore. No one, you don't even want people who are on job boards because they're actively looking. You want people who are sat at home, dead good people, scrolling through the phone, who've got a job, and then you want to stop them. Scroll stoppability, we call it. You've got to stop them in the scroll and woo them. Make them, yeah. We say got to be able to apply with one hand because they're going to have a glass of wine in the other. Yeah. Want three button apply, done. Yeah. It's interesting. I'll be interesting to see how your work with Danielle pans out. Yes, it's very exciting, yeah. So I was going to offer, if you want me to come and do a kind of an expert as a kind of, this is what the employer thinks, because of course. Have that kind of, space in there. That would be definitely. That would be Cool, thank you. Yeah.
I have forwarded that to a lot of people I know who are still unemployed from when I was the second time around.
Yeah.
Some of them have taken some time out, but I think
They still need to get it. They can learn stuff in that 5 days that they'll be able to apply.
Yeah.
When they're ready as well, or at least start getting ready. So LinkedIn for you, how have you been getting on with it though? Obviously you've been doing the training and implementing it.
So really good, actually. I think it's that. So my word for 2019 is consistency.
Okay.
Now I've got the tools for the job. So I've got, my phone is working. I'm doing a lot more video, because when I do video, guess what? I get leads. Ain't that funny? Isn't that weird? So it's just being kind of really consistent about that. So I've got a good content plan. So that's all kind of geared towards my launch at the moment. I'm just duplicating stuff from Facebook onto LinkedIn, which is fine. I think it's just I've always really liked LinkedIn as a platform. So I just think it is really great, and that's where a lot of my business has come from. There's certainly some of my individual coaching clients and the work I'm doing with some of the consultancies, that's come through LinkedIn. So yeah, it's just working for me. That's why my website, it's written, but it's not launched yet, because everything is just by LinkedIn, and it's
You don't need websites. Or you can use LinkedIn without having a website. So use that as your landing page. It's better than your website usually.
Yeah.
Okay, fab. So if anyone knows anybody or is interested in your coaching, what did you call it? Transitional coaching?
Yeah, people in transition. So transition, yeah. So so they can contact me on LinkedIn. So I am Jane Ferre. My website, that is my job between Christmas and New Year, is to launch. It's written. It just needs putting into the thing and pushing the button. And my husband's a bloody web developer, right? it's like cobbler's children, right?
Yeah, of course.
So my website is janeferre.com. So that will be going live. But yeah, just message me through LinkedIn or through Facebook. So now I'm a little more relaxed about using the business. So, and I also have
to introduce you, then just message me and I'll hook you up with Jane.
Fab. And and I also have a page, Jane Ferre Coaching. So that's as well. So I'll add these links into the.
Yes, when we actually put it on Facebook. So we've had a right nightmare today.
We have, but we got through.
But we got through. Right, I'm going to have to go because I've got another call. But thank you very much for coming. It's been amazing.
Thank you.
It's been great. As somebody called them, loose women for professionals.
Yeah, we decided I'm going to be Janet Street Porter, and you're...
I don't want to be clean, Nolan. Who's the one? The one with the dark hair. She's nice. Hey?
Stacey, no? Is Stacey on it? Stacey Solomon?
Dippy though, isn't she? I don't think I want to be Stacey. She's lovely though. No, what's her name? The one that hosts it with the dark hair.
Andrea? Is it Andrea?
Yes, I'll be Andrea.
Yeah, you can be Andrea. Yeah, because you're like the host. So
yes, I'm like, it's all about me again. Back to me. All right, okay, I'm going to go. I will see you in the mastermind. Have a lovely Christmas for those weeks before. But I'll see you in the mastermind in January, which is going to be just mad.
Thank you, and thank you for everything, Helen. So even these introducing series, it's very generous of you to give your time. We appreciate it.
Oh really no, thank you for coming. Thank you very much.
Really do. Thanks.
Darling, have a lovely. Oh my God, it's Christmas.
I know. I'm off to Paris. Au revoir.
Of course you are. Au revoir. Everyone will be able to pronounce your name there.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going.
Have fun. Bye.